I get it, you are staring at a dozen high-end laptops, scrolling through endless specs, and wondering if any of them will actually let you game hard without turning your lap into a sauna or draining the battery before the first level ends. You've probably spent a few minutes worrying about wasting money on a machine that sounds impressive on paper but ends up being a disappointment when you fire up the latest titles. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. When I started digging into the Lenovo Yoga Slim 7X, the first thing that caught my eye was the combination of a Snapdragon X Elite processor and a 3K OLED touchscreen. That's a rare pairing in the gaming laptop world, where you normally see Intel or AMD CPUs paired with LCD panels. The idea here is that you get an AI-focused chipset that promises efficient performance while the OLED screen promises vivid colors and deep blacks, which matters if you care about seeing those darkroom details in a horror game or the neon glow in a cyberpunk city. But does that theory hold up when you're actually in the middle of a match? I've spent a couple of evenings testing the Yoga Slim 7X with a mix of titles, anything from fast-paced shooters like Apex Legends to more demanding open-world experiences such as Cyberpunk 2077 Star. The Snapdragon X Elite's 12 cores feel surprisingly agile for a mobile chipset. In the shooter, frame rates settled comfortably around 60 frames per second on medium settings, and the OLED panel's 90 Hz refresh rate kept motion smooth without any noticeable tearing. The standout moment was the contrast ratio. Enemies hiding in shadows were still distinguishable, and the colors stayed punchy even after an hour of play. That's a genuine advantage if you're used to fighting through muddy, washed-out visuals on typical laptop LCDs. Heat is the usual suspect in a thin gaming laptop, and here the Yoga Slim 7X does something different. Lenovo's cooling solution relies on a dual-fan design that's intentionally quiet at low loads, but it does kick up the noise once you push the GPU hard. In my tests, while playing Cyberpunk 2077 on the highest settings, the fans rose to a moderate whir, comparable to the sound of a small kitchen extractor. It wasn't an outright distraction, but if you're in a shared space or a quiet apartment, you'll notice it. The chassis stayed warm to the touch, but didn't get hot enough to cause discomfort. The heat management feels like a compromise between the ultra-thin form factor and sustained performance, nothing you can't live with if you're okay with occasional fan noise. Battery life is another area where the Yoga Slim 7X shows its trade-offs. The 100 mAh battery, the maximum Lenovo allows, gives you roughly 5 hours of mixed-use web browsing, office work, a few YouTube videos. Once you launch a game, the clock drops quickly. I saw about 1.5 hours of continuous gaming before the charger became a necessity. That's expected for a laptop that pushes a 3K OLED panel and a powerful ARM-based CPU, but it's worth noting if you were hoping for a Play Anywhere device that lasts a whole day unplugged. If your gaming sessions are mostly at a desk with power nearby, the battery hit is less of a deal-breaker. Portability is where the Yoga Slim 7X shines. The 14.5-inch chassis is slimmer than most gaming laptops you'll find in the $1,500+ range, and the aluminum body feels solid without being bulky. It fits easily into a standard backpack and weighs around 3.2 pounds, making it a realistic companion for a commute or a coffee shop work session. The 3 USB 4 Type-C ports are a pleasant surprise. Each supports 40 gigabits per second data, power delivery, and display output, meaning you can hook up a 4K monitor, an external SSD, and charge the laptop all from a single hub if you're willing to invest in a dock. This level of connectivity is often missing on other thin gaming laptops, which resort to older USB-A ports or a single Thunderbolt lane. Now let's talk about who should actually consider buying this machine. If you're a gamer who also needs a professional-grade laptop for coding, media creation, or running AI-assisted workloads, the Yoga Slim 7X checks a lot of boxes. The Snapdragon X Elite's AI acceleration can speed up certain ML tasks, and Windows 11 Pro with Lenovo's Copilot Plus integration offers a smoother workflow for productivity. The OLED screen is a boon for video editors who need accurate color reproduction, and the 1TB SSD gives you plenty of room for games, projects, and files without worrying about external storage right away. Conversely, if your primary gaming goal is to crank the settings to max on the most demanding AAA titles for hours on end, you might feel the pinch. The GPU tied to the Snapdragon chip isn't a dedicated NVIDIA RTX card, it's an integrated solution that, while capable, won't match a full-blown RTX 3070 or higher. Expect to dial down texture quality or resolution on the newest releases if you want a smooth experience. Also, if you're a competitive gamer who lives for ultra-low latency and silent operation, the occasional fan rush could be a distraction.